Masterverse Revolution Emperor Hordak action figure. Great rendition in action figure form based on the animated series, but it made the action figure more like a statue. So with all of that plastic, you actually cannot really move the action figure. Limited points of articulation on the arms, on the head, and the torso and the legs. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how we're going to really improve the problems with this action figure. Okay, to achieve this level of articulation points for the action figure, as you could see, gun is the plastic that's going to limit articulation points. So especially on the head area, which I'm going to show later. Okay, so we got rid of the front piece, which is actually very useless. We also got rid of the skirt. We also got rid of the very cheap looking red cape. So we are also going to install a red cape on this Hordak action figure. So that loincloth comes from Masterverse He-Man. So yeah, just also the heat method using a hair dryer. So we just pulled off the loincloth out of He-Man and placed it on this Hordak action figure. So mimicking the one that we really know in our animated series. So not the present animated series, but our animated series, the 80s, glorious 80s. Okay, so let us first take a look at what's underneath the armor. So this isn't yet glued. Okay, so this is where you're going to cut or disengage the armor of the action figure. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 points wherein you need to cut with an X-Acto knife. Using a hair dryer method, you're not going to pop off those things. So you just better cut it off. So this is how the internals of the armor is going to look like. So the cape is attached on the shoulder pauldrons, which I also took off. So as you could see, those are the connection points. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, so very simple modification. So we also used just a very simple knife to remod this front part, and using a hair dryer, so we heat up this portion and also remodded this. So it's going to be, instead of bunching up close onto the head of the action figure, I somehow remodded it in such a way that it's going to move outwards, or there's going to be more space on this section. Okay, and also what is hindering the articulation on the head unit of the action figure? Actually, take a look at that. We have a lot of articulation on this action figure. No need to really apply heat on the head, because the thing that restrains the articulation points on the action figure is going to be the red neck collar, which actually you don't need when you already have this piece on. So take a look at that. There you go. So what I did was just to cut off that red collar. So we have more area to hold on to that head. Okay, so I also heated this up, and the reason why I also took the collar off, so I could move the armor piece a little bit nearer to the head, and this piece is farther from the head, which would allow you to grab onto that head and provide that much needed pose in your display. So very easy, simple solution, right? So just get rid of that color and paint it black. And of course, we're still going to apply a better looking cape. So the same thing that I used with another kitbash action figure. So just red t-shirt that you could buy at Walmart. Okay, so now we're ready to glue, but actually there are still other pieces that I'm going to add on this action figure. So of course we need a hand cannon for Hordak. So this is from the Man at Arms action figure, the cartoon collection He-Man action figure. Man at Arms, stand corrected. So the blaster that comes with that Man at Arms action figure, so I just cut off this portion too, and actually it has a cover, so we just applied heat and took it off. Okay, so how is this going to engage on the arm of Hordak? Very simple, actually. Just pop off the handset, and since we have that really much gaping hole, so you just by friction, there you go. So mimicking that, the arm of Hordak transformed into a cannon. Well, of course he still has his stuff. Okay, so we're ready to glue the armor piece and add on a cloth cape. Okay, so we've got everything glued on the action figure, the cape and the armor. So let's do a 360 view of the action figure. So Emperor Hordak. Okay, so let's put on the accessories. So the stuff and the blaster. Okay, so we have the blaster on the right forearm and the stuff on the left hand. Okay, so let's do a quick 360 view of the figure in a very simple action figure pose. This time you could spread out the legs, you could raise the hands and tilt the head. So let's check out the articulation of this guy. So we took off an excess amount of plastic. Okay, so for the upper body, so this is the amount of articulation that we're going to have. Waistline, of course, rotation. The head, because we took out the collar and move the armor a little bit farther from the head. Okay, so we are now free to hold on to that head. So left and right movement. So looking up, of course that's going to be even with the armor piece on or armor piece off, it's going to be quite limited because of how that head is designed. But as you could see, we already have a lot of articulation point versus the original version, which had that collar, which would always hit on the earlobe of the action figure, limiting the articulation point of the head area. Okay, so this piece, we just can't get rid of that, because if we're going to cut through, the armor piece is going to look really bad. So yeah, you just have to contend with this. But the plastic pieces that secures the old cape, we took it off. So these are the pieces, two pieces that is under these two sections, which would really bear down on the ball joint of the arms. So right now, since we have a lot of that space available, so we could move that more freely. So take a look at that. And because we have a different style cape and it's not glued, the cape is not glued to this section, it's glued to this section 1, 2, and 3. So it's just floating underneath this armor, so it really does not interfere with articulation of the arm. Okay, so pinless joints, rotation on the hand, and of course, and since we took out majority of the plastic pieces, it freed a lot of the articulation points on the leg. So that's our very simple kitbash or modification with Hordak. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.